Welcome to the Power of Coaching. I am Hardy Brooklyn. I am a life coach based out of Brooklyn, New York, and I help my clients live a truly authentic life in a truly inauthentic world. I do this through active listening and asking deep questions to help them realize where they really want to go in life and where they really want to change. Anna?
Thank you, Hardy. I am a life direction coach, excuse me, and I help moms thrive before and after their kids leave by reimagining, redesigning, and recreating their lives so they can live their second act with purpose and fulfillment. And Stan, over to you.
Thanks, Anna. I'm a moving forward and goal success coach. I help people with their goal setting, breaking limiting beliefs, and rewriting their life success story. Over to you, Isabel.
Thanks, Stan. Sorry, I can't make it today. And I'm Isabel Nanin. I'm a women's empowerment coach, and I accompany female entrepreneurs, professional women, and introverted women to turn their fears into success. So enjoy yourself today, and back to
Isabel. Today on the Power of Coaching, brought to you by the Daring Success Team, we're going to be talking about our last workshop. We had some amazing and deep conversation about how to coach people to develop confidence and how, as a coach, you can also develop confidence in yourself. Stan, what's one of the things that you kind of stand out for you from Tuesday's workshop?
It was lots. I think one of the ones was I was having a conversation with a coach, and it's probably good for all coaches, is sometimes don't jump on the very first thing they say. You want to listen for what else they're saying or what else they're not saying, or sometimes just like I know myself, I sometimes process. So I talk about one thing that's not really bothering me, but I kind of work my way through to the next bit. That's the bit that's bothering me, but sometimes coaches kind of jump in and they take the first bit because they kind of think out loud.
That's very interesting, Stan. And that really connects with me because one of the things that I've learned as a coach is I ask the same question 4 to 5 different times, either in the same session or over a couple of sessions. And I've noticed that I rarely get the same answer, even if I ask the exact same question when I ask it over time, because their perception changes of a situation and their view changes of a situation. And eventually we get down to the real root of it. So
and sometimes you have to just allow them to have space to kind of, go deeper into the question.
And that's part of active listening, knowing when to interrupt, knowing when to encourage, and knowing when to stop. As far as developing confidence, what's one thing that you do with your clients, Anna, and what type of questioning do you use in that realm to just break the ice?
Well, first of all, I would like to add that what I see many times is that clients, or even myself, because I'm human, so I was guilty of it, and sometimes I'm still guilty of it, is that we expect confidence to come straight away before we do the work or we take the actions. We just want to be confident, just like that, and we think that if we're not confident already, it's something wrong with us, with ourselves, which is not true at all. But somehow we have this belief that we should be confident straight away. So questions, I would sort of like help them in their awareness and think about your your past challenges. How did you overcome them? What did you learn from those challenges? How strong did you become because of that challenge? Yeah, and then go and look at their strengths, their wins, because we tend to just look at negative things. So it's sort of like, yeah, I help them shift a little bit that perspective.
So I find it very interesting that everything that we're talking about around confidence is about multiple questions, multiple times of working on yourself, extended listening, and extended understanding. I see so many people advertise commercials, so many coaches say, develop confidence in one quick session, get that aha confidence moment. And then when they say that, and then we see as coaches, when we're interacting with people, that it really does take time. And to be in support of what Anna just said, it's the type of questions you're asking them, because it does take time for them to develop and change and understand when they were successful, when the different positive things in their life happen. I, as a human, don't really see all of that happening in one solitary 45-minute or even 2-hour session that's going to come with an aha moment. It's when we're developing confidence, this is something that takes time. And Stan, how do you think that aha moment relates to confidence? And then how much do you think that also over time connects?
Ooh, Alex, give me the tough one. Yeah, and look, confidence is often developed. And one thing I like to kind of dig down into is why people think they're not confident in an area, and what a confident person would do. One of the questions is, well, who's confident in this area? What are their behaviors? What are their values? What are their beliefs in this area? And which ones are you going to use? I think sometimes confidence can be a lot about practice and acting as if you're confident to start with. Like, I don't know about, I mean, we're all coaches here. I kind of I've been at the practice pods, which is now the coaching practice group, for like 3 years. And when I started, probably a lot of it, I wasn't confident. But being in this space where you could practice and not worrying about whether you're not confident or it doesn't come across like that, and practice, because that would be the next bit, practicing the things so you can go, oh, I can just do this technique, or I can just answer the question, is probably important, just as important as like active listening.
Thank you, Stan. So I really want to reiterate to the coaches out there that you're not going to have your clients become confident in one session. They might have that aha moment and realize what's wrong, but no matter what, it's something that we develop. It's not something that we aha. And a lot of things that we work with coaches, they are develop over time, because you get the aha moment, which is the realization. Then you have to do the work around that realization. Anything that we want to think about, Anna, around introverts with regards to confidence?
Well, speaking from my perspective, because I am an introvert, yeah, it might be even more difficult maybe for introverts, because like they sort of like start disadvantaged, let's say, because they already don't really want to, maybe put themselves in situations where they have to interact with other people. Or, for example, if you need to like go to networking events, that could be kind of stressful for or introverted, and they might avoid it because they're not confident in that what's the word, Hardy? In that environment. Okay. In that environment. So the good thing to do is sort of like detach for a minute from your feelings and your fears, and just look at it from a, let's say, scientific point of view, where you say, okay, I have this challenge. What can I do? Would it help to prepare myself first, to think, okay, I'm not gonna go and like throw myself in the group, but maybe I will focus more on one or two people at the beginning and just start a conversation with them. And I think the solution for many challenges is to look at the very little steps to begin with. And also, I would say this is not just for introverts, but for everybody. Check your self-talk, because that's also really important. What are you saying about yourself? What are you believing? So yeah, it's a lot. The work is a lot of awareness, and it doesn't happen in one day, you know. So.
And I think on Tuesday, Isabel was saying, and she put it beautifully. She put it in like 4 words, and she said, "It's self-aware, it's pausing, and it's reframing." Like, can you reframe what you just said? Did you just say something in your brain that you shouldn't have done? And then, that's destroying your confidence because you're like going and, what strategy have you got to go networking? I always say, get a cup of tea is always the easiest way. And then talk to the person who's getting another cup of tea.
And sometimes it's even limiting beliefs. It's like your mother said that don't talk to strangers. That's driven through a lot of people's minds. So in the personal space, in that particular situation, that is a little bit of confidence deflating.
And it's a strategy that you were taught that's now no longer serving you. You were taught don't turn to strangers because you know this, and then you're like, oh man, a network functioning. Everybody's strange here.
And Anna left off her last statement on a really important fact. What script are you telling yourself? What is your self-talk? And how is all of that not only developing confidence, but how does that leverage onto our next workshop and our next seminar, which is fear of failure? So we're going to be talking a little bit more next week on Tuesday in the workshop. And following that practice session, Isabel is going to be giving a presentation on fear of failure and coaching through fear of failure on the 22nd. So what's a little nugget that we have from about fear on failure, Stan or Anna?
Fear is probably one of the big obstacles that people need to overcome for anything in life. It's really good at holding you back in lots of stuff. and people don't want to look, they don't want to look silly. You don't want to look like you failed at something. Then you think, yeah, I didn't even give that a go.
Yeah, for me, fear of failure is not really maybe failing at what you need to do. It's more of what are you making it mean about yourself? What happens if you fail at that? What does it mean about yourself? So you have to dig deeper in that. And usually there's a belief there, obviously. So yeah.
And failure is just feedback. Like, you haven't failed unless you've quit. It's feedback. What can you do? What else can you do? What can you do better? How can you keep on going? I know that we do a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You kind of fail your way to the top in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You try a bunch of stuff, it doesn't work. People catch you and, do stuff to you. And then you're thinking, hey, I just failed. Well, no, I didn't. I just learned how to do something. Don't do it again. I always kind of follow the principle. Don't make the same mistake twice. And if you've done it twice, don't do it 3 times.
Sometimes it takes people a lot more than 2 or 3 times to learn a lesson. I mean, there are some things that I do that are stupid or not the best way that I'm on the 20th or 30th time, but that's a choice I got to make.
Yes. And have we all failed 20 or 30 times? Yes.
Well, it depends on how you look at failure. And that was something interesting that Stan said, is what is failure? And I don't look at quitting as failure, because sometimes I have to quit because that's the best option. Sometimes quitting is the best option. Sometimes I work with clients that are in jobs that they're not moving forward. They have a position that's not adequate for their mental state or their skill set. And they do need to quit because they're not going to live an authentic or a happy life. But there are
And you have to make a choice about that. You have to say, yeah, I need to stop doing this, or, I need to leave this job because, there's a bunch of reasons, or, the classic one is this goal is now not serving me. It served me before. It's not, I might need to let it go.
Anna, any final remarks?
Yeah, it's also as you say, there's no failure really. There's just learning there. So you need to adopt a growth mindset and see it in a positive way. And only by taking those steps, you will then understand eventually if that is a good thing for you or if it's not for you. And I mean, sometimes we get so many messages like from social media or whatever that everything can be fixed so quickly, as you said, but it's not true. It's a life process, and just give yourself some grace. You're a human being. Just be compassionate to yourself. There's no mistakes, no failures, just lessons that we learn in life. That's all.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Stan. And thank you, Isabel. Be sure to check us out at daringsuccessteam.com or search for our groups and pages on Facebook and LinkedIn by searching for Daring Success Team. Be sure to follow us, like us, friend us. And if you're interested in this podcast, please add this playlist to your library so you get notified when new episodes come out. Have a great weekend and a great life.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Bye till next time.